West Wales Derby, folks. URC Boxing Day action. It's a great period of time for me here in NZ. It's summer. I get to wake up in the morning, watch some rivalry action, which in recent years has meant some Boxing Day Welsh rugby. In this case, the West Wales Derby between Scarlets and the Ospreys. And then I get to go out and enjoy the weather for summer. Scarlets, I've just been talking you up. Last Power Rankings video, you're a team tracking in the right direction. Couple of wins. Losing at home 26 points to 19 to the Ospreys. Well, you just made me a liar about your good form. Ospreys, you tackled the house down and then hit the Scarlets guys when you finally had chances down their end. We'll go through some of the key events and stats, and you guys can let us know your thoughts, but the short version of this one would be the Scarlets had so much ball, particularly in the first half. But do you think they could convert chances? No. Ospreys, yes. And defensively, really, really sound. Harry Deves, absolutely a machine. Tackles and carries and run meters. Oh, he's a good player. But yes, let's go through the key events and stats. You guys let us know your thoughts. Jake Ball could have had the first try for the Scarlets because they had so much possession, but he gets denied for a double or triple movement as he tried to ground the ball over the Ospreys line. And then it was Gareth Davis. It was the Scarlets on attack. Kieran Hardy got one later. Gareth Davis for Scarlets. His footballing first touch or second touch or whatever it was is a little bit too heavy. Otherwise, he potentially has one, kicking the ball through and grounding it down. His football touch is a little bit too heavy. Maybe stick to rugby. If he had a bit of a lighter touch, maybe he's able to dot it down. But he goes bloody ploughing into the advertising hoarding, so doesn't do himself physically any favours there. But lots of Scarlets pressure. Nothing converted. Ospreys had a couple of issues. One, they couldn't escape their own half. And two, they couldn't throw the line out straight. It was not the first 20 minutes or so of rugby that the Ospreys will like, apart from the fact they kept the Scarlets out. That part they will be happy with. And then you think it's getting worse because Kieran Williams get himself a yellow card for a deliberate knock-on, kind of one-handed intercept job, which the Ospreys did a couple of times in this game. But despite having 14 men, it's a bit of a smash-and-grab operation because only 30% territory. They go down the Scarlets' end, and basically one shot, one kill as Watkin goes over from a nice Kieran Hardy pass, close range, bam, try time 7-0 Ospreys. Been defending all the way down the other end. First chance, first score, and they make it back-to-back double when they go back to 15 men as well because Dewey Lake can throw the line-out ball in straight. They get themselves a maul try through Dewey Lake himself, so 14 points to 0. It didn't. The stats would argue that shouldn't have been the case. The Scarlets needed a score. The crowd was cheering them on. It was a good crowd for this kind of festive occasion. Merry Christmas, everybody, by the way. And they did get it. Finally, they got the hands to stick. Passes wide. Joe Roberts. They had an overlap. Try time, 14 points to 7. That's how we go into the sheds at halftime. But if you're a Scarlets fan, the first half stats won't make particularly attractive reading because you had 68% possession, you had 61% territory, and yet you're 7 points down. Possession and territory is not everything. The Scarlets have only made 34 tackles. The Ospreys have made 125. So you do need to give some credit to the Ospreys defence for holding the Scarlets guys out. And especially when you look at the missed tackle count, the Scarlets guys have missed 9, which doesn't seem like that many, but you've only made 34, so that's a pretty high missed tackle percentage, whereas the Ospreys have missed 14 despite making, so many more times the tackles. So good defensive shift from the Ospreys and then scoring when they got down to have their chances. Second half starts, honestly, I didn't take a heck of a lot of notes for the first kind of 15 or so minutes because there was a lot of knock-ons, there were forward passes, there was turnover ball. Alice Mee had one really nice touch kick with very little space to work with, kind of bent the ball. It was pretty sweet. But there weren't really any kind of genuine try-scoring opportunities or close missed chances, that kind of thing. But on 58 minutes, the Ospreys did have a shot at goal after a Scarlets high tackle, but Dan Edwards pushed that one wide. So you're thinking maybe that leaves the door open for the Scarlets to come back into the game. But they kept up with the box kicking game, which the commentators were alluding to as well, and they got punished for a bit of a nothing box kick, the Scarlets. They don't secure the box kick. It's a fumbled ball. The Ospreys are the guys who pounce on it, and quick hands. Just quick hands, having the Scarlets defence not have time to set. Quick hands, and then they cut back inside. Numbers galore. Kieran Hardy with the support line. Bam, try time, 21 points to 7. So a bit of a nothing kick punished. Ospreys looking well comfortable. But then again, bad news. Giles gets yellow carded as well. So it's another deliberate knock on. That one's more of a deliberate knock on because he's kind of jumping up to block the pass. I feel like more than going for a genuine intercept. So he gets himself carded. But initially the Scarlets fluffed their lines because they had an attacking line out which they lost close range, so they couldn't punish initially, but they did get it. The forwards for Scarlets on like 68 minutes went through like 15 phases up the guts, and they finally shifted the water ball left. It was a really nice long pass to Joe Roberts out on the left wing, so he got his second, 21 points to 12. Can the Scarlets mount a comeback? Nah, the Ospreys were able to really pull away by scoring one more try. It started when Max Douglas got himself yellow carded for, I don't really see it that well. It was kind of like a drop knee, I guess. He was being held onto after a ruck, so he got a bit frustrated, dropped the knee, got himself yellow carded, and then a couple of minutes later, the Ospreys punished with maybe their sexiest try. Dan Edwards, a dink through for Houston Hopkins, who hit the ball at absolute pace. It was a great bounce of the ball and a bonus point try for the Ospreys. So despite the fact that this game finishes within 7, the Scarlets guys were dead and buried as the Ospreys ran in that bonus point try. They did get the final try, Scarlets, to kind of at least send their fans home with something to cheer about, and the losing bonus point. There was a bit of handbags after it as well because Dan Edwards had been cleaned out, which the Ospreys guys didn't like, but it was a close range job, and Taylor was able to score the try for Scarlets. So losing bonus point with the conversion from Hawkins, but they'll be disappointed, Scarlets, man, because they still finish with 62% possession, 53% territory. More line breaks, 5-4. Yeah. Defenders beaten 20-19 to the Ospreys, but as I said, the tackle completion rate with the Ospreys making 209 to the Scarlets 88 means the Ospreys are at a world-class 92% tackle percentage, which is great. Anytime you're in the 90s, that's fantastic. The Scarlets are 81, which is like even Super Rugby teams look at you and go, 81, it's a bit low, tackle optional. So, yeah. The Ospreys are home to Cardiff next, and the Scarlets are away to the Dragons as rivalry rugby continues. But Harry Deeves, man, I want to single that man out. 24 tackles and 54 metres. He's the Ospreys' top tackler and top meter eater. So well done to that man of the match, deservedly so. Ellis Mee had 4 defenders beaten, 100 odd metres. Houston Hopkins had 4 defenders beaten, so good cameo from him. But yeah, some festive season rugby for me to start my day. Hope you guys are all doing good. More rugby tomorrow. Take care, folks. Enjoy your holidays. I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.